I have received nearly 100 requests to do another salt comparison video, this time between Baja Gold Sea Salt, Redmond Real Salt, and Pink Himalayan Salt. Here's what I'm going to review. First, the geography, geology, and harvesting methods of each salt. Second, a sodium level and mineral analysis comparing all three salts side by side. Thirdly, a couple of pros and cons in comparison to each salt, plus I reveal my personal favorite. Let's get started. Redmond Real Salt. Redmond salt is trademarked by the company as Redmond Real Salt. It is a rock salt sourced from a salt mine located in the small town of Redmond, Utah. It's approximately 150 miles south of Salt Lake City. The Redmond salt deposit is a remnant of an ancient inland sea. This sea existed during the Jurassic period in geologic history. The Redmond salt deposit begins about 30 feet below the Earth's surface, covered by a layer of bentonite clay, which has protected it from erosion and pollutants found in the air and water above. Redmond salt does not add to nor remove anything from their salt. For example, table salt is processed to make it both purer and finer by removing any natural minerals it may contain, such as calcium, potassium, magnesium, etc. The ionic compound sodium chloride is, of course, left intact because that's what makes salt salt. Table salt is then fortified with additives such as anti-caking agents and sometimes dextrose, which is a sugar, and potassium iodide, which is iodine in its synthetic form. Redmond Real Salt does none of those things. Their salt is kept in its original blueprint as nature intended it to be. The company claims their salt has over 60 natural trace minerals and elements, and the final salt product that ends up in the hands of the consumers like you and me is mined and packaged by only one company, the Redmond Real Salt Company. This ensures product quality and consistency. And just for fun, tours of the Redmond Salt Mine are available to the public. I'll leave a link in the description for those of you who may be interested. Baja Gold Sea Salt. Baja Gold Sea Salt is harvested at an inland lagoon located in a remote and pristine estuary on the Sea of Cortez in Baja, California. The heat and the dry desert winds of the Baja quickly evaporate the water, leaving a highly concentrated and dense seawater behind. Once the salinity reaches a precise level of concentration, the seawater is moved into an evaporation or crystallization pond. The salt is never dried by artificial heat. Rather, it is 100% solar dehydrated, which better preserves the delicate element compounds of the salt. What is left after the remaining water evaporates becomes Baja Gold Sea Salt. The mineral-rich sea brine is not stripped nor filtered from the salt, which is why when you open a bag of Baja Gold Sea Salt, it has a moist feel to it rather than dry. This moist sea brine is what constitutes the salt as being a bioactive or living salt. The salt includes minor sediment from the sandy floor of the retention ponds, which provides additional minerals and trace elements incorporated into the product. The Baja Gold Sea Salt Company keeps the salt as virgin as possible, which allows the salt and all of its vital trace minerals and elements to remain intact. The salt in the bag that the consumer receives is as pristine and bioactive as it was on the salt flats of Baja, California. The Baja Gold Sea Salt Company claims their salt has over 90 trace minerals and elements. Their product is routinely third-party lab tested for harmful levels of heavy metals, microplastics, fertilizer runoff, herbicides, and pesticides. The tests consistently return negative results. How can this be with the state of the oceans today? Well, on their website, the company attributes this to the fact that the Sea of Cortez does not connect to the Gulf of Mexico, where oil spills have occurred. And to the west, the San Pedro Mountains create a natural barrier to wind and rain that carries Pacific Ocean airborne radiation. Feel free to visit the Baja Gold website, where they offer full transparency of their data analyses for you to review. And just in case you are interested, tours of the Baja Gold Salt estuaries are not offered at this time. Himalayan Pink Salt. Himalayan pink salt is also a rock salt. It's mined from the Salt Range Mountains just south of the Himalayas in the Punjab region of Pakistan. So technically, not the Himalayan mountain range despite the name. The salt is sourced from an ancient dried-up seabed from the Ediacaran to early Cambrian period in geologic history. The KHEWRA mine is the only authentic producer of Himalayan pink salt. There are other pink salts, but if it claims to be official Himalayan pink salt, then it comes from the KHEWRA mine in Pakistan. This mine is the second largest salt mine in the entire world and spans 25 miles through the earth. Himalayan pink salt does not remove any of its mineral content the way table salt does and claims to have over 80 trace minerals and elements. Although authentic Himalayan pink salt is mined from this one location, it is then shipped off to numerous processors who label it with their own brand before it's sold to the consumer. This makes quality control more challenging. Although most brands don't insert added ingredients like anti-caking agents or potassium iodide, some do, so be sure to read the label before purchasing. Sodium and mineral analysis. Let's now compare the mineral and salt profile of the three salts, starting with sodium chloride. This chart displays the sodium and chloride percentages for the three salts. It's the conversion of the two elements into sodium chloride that makes salt. So I did the math to identify the salt content since that's what we want to know. For quick reference, salt is calculated by multiplying sodium by 2.54 to achieve sodium chloride. The salt content results are as shown, and as you can see, the Baja Gold has the lowest percentage of salt per serving. Now for the mineral comparison. I will not be covering all the minerals and elements because the list is simply too long. But here's the comparison of the most common minerals we're familiar with. And remember, these are trace amounts of minerals, not to be relied on for meeting recommended daily allowances. The chart is done as percentages. Therefore, if you have 1 teaspoon or 1 cup, the mineral value will be that percentage of the serving size. Redmonds has the most calcium, Baja has the most magnesium and the most potassium. Technically, Redmonds has the most iron, but all three salts have what I consider extremely nominal quantities, so I can't say there's really a difference here. With all salts regarding zinc and phosphorus, the values are either extremely nominal or not detected. Baja has the most sulfur, which, by the way, is a vital nutrient for soft tissue health. And lastly, chromium, magnesium, and selenium are either extremely nominal or not detected. None of the salts are a source of natural iodine, nor have synthetic iodine added. But just in case adding natural iodine into your diet is something that you're interested in, seaweed is the best source. You may want to watch my seaweed video where I compare different varieties and their iodine levels. I'll provide a link in the description. Let's review a couple of the pros and cons of each comparatively. Cost-wise, Redmonds and Pink Himalayan are the more economical varieties. For a 1 pound, 454 gram bag, Redmonds will run around $10, and Pink Himalayan will vary from as low as $5 up to $10. Baja Gold Sea Salt costs about $20 for a pound, so we're looking at about double the price. Depending on your budget and how you're faring in this economy, that double of the price can be a deal breaker. So which one is my personal favorite? Well, they all have impressive trace mineral profiles, check. They're all minimally processed, check. So for me, it comes down to flavor. Baja Gold Sea Salt is my favorite because I love how it tastes compared to other salts. This is based on my personal opinion only, of course, but I just feel that Baja Gold Sea Salt has almost this sweetness to it, not due to any sugar being added, but rather by the rich sea brine mineral composition. I use it mostly with cooking and other culinary recipes as my special salt, and I don't use it much with fermenting simply because of the price. So I use other salts for fermenting. But that's just me. What about you? Do you have a favorite salt? Share with everyone in the comments below. Thanks for watching, and if by chance you do want to explore fermenting recipes, I've got a bunch of them since that's the primary subject of my channel. Click here to view those recipes or check in the description for the video links. I've provided links for each of the salts in the description as well, just in case you're interested. I'll see you next time. Bye for now.